boys and girls, welcome back to the Literature Lighthouse. I am Mrs. Porter and I'm excited to get to be with you today. Today, we have kind of a long book. It's called A Tale of Two Princes. And it's the story of two princes and a benevolent king. A king who deeply loves his people and is willing to send his prince to get them out of a pickle with a bad prince. So I hope to share with you a little light and joy and wonder as we read this wonderful tale of these two princes. And hopefully, at the end, you can tell me what the people should have done at the beginning of the book. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's go. A Tale of Two Princes. Story by Eckart Nieden and illustrated by Gisela Scheer. Yo-ho, come join us for a balloon ride. Up and up we fly, slowly gliding into the sky until we discover an island. What a beautiful place, you say, and you're right. Bright colored houses and fields and ribbony roads and rivers, green gold meadows and trees, and a lighthouse on the shore. How many cows can we see? How many sheep? How many boats and how many bridges? How many swans and how many chickens? And how many people? Aha! We can't see any people. No farmers, no fishermen, no children, no mothers, no people at all. So you ask, where are they? Oh no, to answer that, my friend, I must tell you a story. This lovely island belongs to a king who is great and good. Long ago, the king himself brought many people here. He helped them make this island beautiful. He gave them good laws so that they knew what to do and how to behave and how to always be happy. Then the king left the island and traveled to his home across the sea. The people respected the king so much that they built a statue of him. It stood straight and tall at the harbor side. And once each year, the people loaded a ship with good things, grain and meat from their farms, fruit from their fruit trees, and fish from their fishing nets, and they sent these riches across the sea as a gift to honor their king. They also chose a certain man as their governor. His job was to help them remember the king and his good laws. One day, the governor was walking in the forest. He heard a deep voice that seemed to be coming from the ground. "Governor," the voice called. The governor turned to look, but he saw no one at all. "Governor," the voice called again. "I want to talk to you. I am prince of this island." The governor was amazed. "The prince?" he asked. "Yes," answered the voice, "and I have a suggestion for you." "What kind of suggestion?" said the governor. "Just this," replied the voice. "Why don't you stop honoring the king? After all, he's so far away. Knock down his statue. Forget about his laws, and don't send him that shipload of riches every year. Keep those good things. Store them up for yourselves. After all, you may need them someday when times get hard." The governor could hardly believe what he was hearing. He said to the voice, "How could we be so ungrateful and hateful to our king?" The voice did not answer, so the governor walked away, and many new thoughts went through his head. When the next ship for the king was being loaded with riches, the governor went down to watch. He went early in the morning when sunrise made the harbor shine like gold. There at the harbor side, the governor saw crates and boxes and barrels ready to be carried aboard the ship. He also saw 10 sacks of hazelnuts fresh from the island's hazelnut trees. The governor stepped closer to 2 of the dock workers whose job it was to load the ship, and in a low voice he said to them, Please take 2 sacks of those hazelnuts and store them in my barn. After all, we may need them someday when hard times come." The dock workers did as the governor said. And later that day, those dock workers began whispering to all the other dock workers and sailors who were loading the ship. "The governor," they said, "is taking some of the king's riches for himself." That night, the sailors and dock workers came together. They said to each other, "Whatever the governor can have, we can have." They went to the harbor side, and in the darkness they unloaded all the things from the ship. Each man carried away some of the riches to his own house or barn, and some of the men took the ship out into the ocean and sank it. Now, it so happened late that night that a certain farmer's cow gave birth to a new calf. The farmer got up to check on the cow and her baby. What else did he see? He saw sailors and dock workers taking away the king's riches. Early the next morning, the farmer told another farmer what he had seen. That farmer told another farmer, and that farmer told another, and all the farmers said to one another, "Whatever the sailors and dock workers can have, we can have." The farmers came together at the harbor side, and there someone told them that the ship was sunk. There were no more riches to be taken away. The farmers were angry. In fact, they were furious. They shouted, "We want our share!" Someone told the fishermen what had happened. That made the fishermen furious, and they came together and said, "Whatever the farmers can do, we can do." And then the farmers and the fishermen began storming their way into the houses of the sailors and the dock workers, and they took away whatever they wanted. Now everyone was furious. In all the angry confusion, the king's statue was tipped over and fell with a splash into the harbor. So, in only a night and a day, the people of the island had forgotten how to behave and how to be happy. Now they were always being hateful. They were always scolding or complaining, and everyone was angry, and everyone was afraid. And no one talked about the king anymore, and no one remembered his good laws. One day, a woman with 2 children walked up to the governor. "Look at these children," she told him. "Now they will have to grow up in a place where everyone is angry and afraid and hateful and unhappy, and it's all your fault." The governor didn't agree that this was all his fault. "But I must do something about it," he decided. He ran to the forest. He found the place where he once heard the voice that seemed to come from the ground. "Ho, ho, 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 yo, ho, Prince," Governor called out. "Say something." "What do you want?" answered the voice. At once the governor told him everything that had happened, and he added, "It's all your fault. Your suggestion was terrible." "You can do whatever you want with my suggestions," said the voice. "But I know something important that you'd better keep in mind." "And what is that?" said the governor. "Just this," replied the voice. "The king has heard nothing from this island for a long time. Surely he's angry now, for he knows that you've forgotten him. Very soon he'll come and punish you all severely." The governor was alarmed. "Oh no," he stammered. "We're lost." "Oh, not just yet," said the voice. "I know how you might be able to save yourselves." "How?" said the governor. He trembled and listened carefully. "Just this. Push back those tree branches there beside you, and you'll see a secret doorway." The governor pushed back the branches, and he saw the opening to a cave going deep underground. "I'm down here," the voice said, "in a huge cave with plenty of room to keep you all safe. So run quickly and warn the people about the danger. Tell them about this hiding place and bring everyone back here with you. Hurry, the king is coming soon." So the governor hurried away, and many new thoughts went through his head. He returned quickly with all the people who lived on the island, sailors and dock workers and farmers and fishermen and mothers and children, and one after another they followed the governor, stepping down, down into the darkness. The voice of the underground prince was leading them. "This way," he said, "follow me." Down, down, deeper and deeper they went. After many long moments, the governor said, "How much longer?" "Patience, patience," the prince's voice answered slowly. Down they went, deeper, deeper into darkness. After many more long moments, the governor said, "It's too dark down here. I'll strike a match." "No," the prince's voice shouted. "Don't do that. It would blind me. Then I couldn't lead you any more. Besides, it's too damp down here for the match to burn." And he was right. It was damp in the deep underground, and it was cold, and it was dark. And after many more long moments, some of the children began to cry, and some of the parents began to groan and complain. So the governor spoke up. "Prince, this is far enough. We won't go a single step more." The prince's voice said nothing in reply. Suddenly the governor was afraid. Yo-ho, Prince! Listen to me! Where are you?" But again, there was no answer. The people didn't know it yet, but the prince had gone back to the cave's doorway and sealed it shut. Now there was no way out. And that, of course, was the day our balloon glided over the island, when we couldn't see any people down there. They were all trapped deep inside the cave. So you ask, "But please, what happened next?" Oh no, to answer that, my friend, I must finish telling you the story. Some people in the cave tried to find a way out, but no escape could be found. Some of the children cried, some of the women screamed, and some of the men growled and howled, but of course none of that helped. "Hush, everyone," the governor ordered. "Calm down." They were all quiet for a moment. Then from somewhere in the darkness they heard a laugh. It sounded like the voice of the underground prince. "Where are you?" the governor demanded. "You can't see me," the voice said, "but I can see you." The governor raised his fists. "You cheated us," he said. "You lied to us. Who are you anyway?" "I will only tell you this," said the voice. "Long ago I lived across the sea in the king's home, which is bright and full of light. One day I told him that I wanted to be king instead of him. I attacked him and fought him fiercely, but he defeated me and he threw me out of his home. So across the sea I came to make myself prince of this island. Now I hate the light and I love darkness. Maybe you will learn to love it too, for I will never let you out of here." He laughed again, and then all was silent. "Has he gone away?" the people wondered, "or is he still staring at us from the cold darkness?" Sad and afraid, the people crowded together to comfort one another, to keep each other warm. A long time passed, and no one ever knew if it was day or night, for here in the cave there was only darkness. The people were tired and tried to sleep, but now and then a child would cry. Now and then a woman would scream from a terrible dream, and now and then a man would growl or howl. Of course, none of that helped. And there in the cold, damp darkness, the people began to feel sorry for the wrong things that they had done. And then came the moment when someone whispered, "I see a light." "Where?" "There, look." Yes, it was true. Far away was a glowing light. Everyone stared as the brightness came closer. Suddenly it stopped. Everyone heard the sound of fighting, groans and shouts, and the clash and clang of weapons. The light jerked this way and that, and finally the battle sounds ended. Slowly the light came forward again, closer and closer, and soon the people could see the shadow of a man carrying a torch. He was staggering and limping, as if he had been hurt. The man came and stood in front of everyone in the bright circle made by his torchlight. Those in front could see that his heel was bleeding. "Don't be afraid," said the man to everyone. "I've come to take you out of this place. I am the king's son." The king's son! The people were astonished and fearful at first. Don't be afraid, the king's son said again. My father forgives all of you for all the wrong things you did. I've found you now, and you are safe, and you can follow me home. But the prince, said the governor, the underground prince. He is defeated, said the king's son in a quiet, sure voice. He attacked me, but I overcame him, and he can never keep you in this darkness again. So come, follow me. Holding each other's hands, the people followed the king's son on the long trip up and out of the cave and into the warmth and brightness above. That evening, the king's son went aboard his ship to return to his father's home across the sea. But someday I'll come back, he promised the people. With waves and cheers and tears, the people watched his ship sail away. As it went out to sea, the ship looked smaller and smaller and smaller, and finally it disappeared from their sight. And still today, this is what happens on the beautiful island. Sailors and dock workers and farmers and fishermen and mothers and children go off into an open window or upon a high hill or to the lighthouse on the shore, and there they gaze out across the sea and remember the king's son and wait for his return. And that was a tale of two princes. And I have a question for you. How might the governor not have gotten in the pickle that he found himself in? What do you think he could have done? Perhaps remembered the king. Perhaps remembered his law, his book. Does that sound like a familiar story? How about the son of the king? Does this story maybe whisper the name of somebody you're familiar with? Might that name be Jesus? I think so. He will come again. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.